Namaste and peace and blessings. I would like to thank you for joining me here this evening in our strength building Vinyasa Flow. I ask that we all find ourselves in a comfortable seated pose. Right now, my legs are in cow face legs. You are welcome to do the cow face legs or find yourself in an easy seat, a lotus or half lotus, whatever feels good for you. Bringing our palms together at heart center. Maybe take a nice deep breath in. Hold the breath for a couple seconds before we exhale. Maybe we can slightly gaze downward towards the earth, lowering our eyes, or if we feel comfortable, closing our eyes, using our down gaze to allow us to go inward here this evening. Inhale. Exhale. Noticing how the breath relaxes and soothes our mind and our body. Maybe we notice how when we exhale, our shoulders come down further from our ears. Simply relaxing our body. Inhale. Exhale. Using this moment to go inward with silence. Maybe sit here for 30 to 60 seconds, going inward with silence. Noticing how the silence relaxes your mind and your body as we inhale. Holding the breath for a couple seconds. Exhale. Releasing our palms from heart center up, bringing our palms above our head. Seated salute. Palms together, chin slightly looking up. Exhale down to seated prayer. Palms back up to seated salute. Exhale down to seated prayer. Palms back up to seated salute. Feeling a stretch. Exhale, seated prayer. Finding still in our seated prayer. Maybe we can engage our abs, making our tummy nice and tight. Noticing how that feels. Seated twist, right side. Softly gazing over our right shoulder. Exhale back to center. Seated twist opposite side, softly looking over our left shoulder. Exhale back to center, palms above our head, seated salute. Exhale, seated prayer. Exhale into our table. Engaging our abs, keeping our tummy nice and tight in our table. Ensuring that our hands are beneath our shoulders. Dropping our tummy down. Back is slightly bent. Buttocks is slightly up. Chin, forehead slightly gaze upward in our cow pose. Tummy's nice and tight. Relaxing in our cow pose for a couple natural breaths. Exhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale back to cow. And maybe do a couple of cat-cow rotations at our natural breath, at our own pace, trying to move the body nice and slow. We are not in a rush here. We are using this time for self-care. We are taking our time with our movements, noticing how our bodies feel. Coming back to table, relaxing our bodies, coming up to our downward facing dog. Feeling the stretch, making our downward facing dog nice and long. Palms are at the front of our mat. Pushing our body upwards. Feeling the stretch here. Tummy's nice and tight. Feeling the stretch. Waving our bodies back down to our table. Ensuring our hands are beneath our shoulders. Dropping down to thread the needle. Left arm threads through the right arm. If we want to go deeper in our thread the needle, we can lift up our right arm in the air and softly wrap it over our back. Feeling the stretch here. We'll hold this for 2 more breaths. As we unwrap our arm, coming out of our thread the needle, back in our table, dropping our bodies down to our cow. Exhaling to cat. Coming back to neutral. Threading our right arm through our left arm. Thread the needle, right arm through the left. Wrapping our arm around our back if we want to go deeper in that stretch. One more breath. Unwrapping our arm, twisting our bodies out of our thread the needle. Coming back to our table. Coming back down to a downward facing dog. Feeling the stretch again in our downward facing dog. Hands are going forward towards the front of the mat. Buttocks is going opposite direction. Feeling the stretch. Our tummies are nice and tight. Holding this downward facing dog, we are strengthening our arms here in our downward facing dog. Flow into our plank, we are in our high plank. Dropping down to our chaturanga. Hovering over our mat. 2 more breaths. Coming up to our cobra. Relaxing our shoulders downward away from our ears. We don't want to be high like this. We want to be up and our shoulders down. Coming up to our upward facing dog. Chin slightly up. We'll hold this for 2 breaths. Flow into our downward facing dog. 3-legged dog right side. Right legs in the air, nice and tall. We'll hold this pose for 2 more breaths. Slightly bending that right leg, that right knee. Our right foot is coming to our opposite buttocks. Feeling our hips slightly open. Leg back in the air, 3-legged dog. Coming down to our downward facing dog. Waving our bodies to our table. Dropping to our child's pose. Relaxing here in our child's pose. Waving our bodies back to our table. Coming up to our downward facing dog. 3-legged dog, left legs in the air, nice and tall. Hold this for 2 more breaths. Slightly bending that left foot towards the right buttocks. Feeling our hips slightly open. Coming back to our three-legged dog. Lowering our leg to our downward facing dog. Waving our bodies to our table. Coming down to our child's pose. Coming out of our child's pose, bringing our hands in front of us in our child's pose if they weren't already there. Walking our fingers to the front of the mat. Feeling our bodies stretching here in this child's pose. Waving our bodies back to our table. Ensuring that our hands are beneath our shoulders. As we flow into our bird pose, right side, right legs out in the air to the back. Tummy's nice and tight. Left arm goes forward. Feeling our bodies balance here. Feeling our arms strengthen. Holding this for 2 more breaths. When we exhale, we're going to go knee to elbow. Exhale. Knee to elbow. Let's hold it here for 2 breaths. Feeling our abdominal crunch here. Working our abs. Back to bird pose. Exhale back to knee to elbow. Back to bird pose. Coming back to our table. Dropping down to a cow. Exhale into our cat. Coming back to our table. Bird pose, opposite side, left legs in the air, nice and tall. Right arms forward. Engaging our abs, making our abs nice and tight. Feeling our body strengthen here. 2 more breaths. Exhale, knee to elbow. Maybe hold this for 2 breaths. Feeling this tummy crunch here. Working our ab muscles. Back to bird pose. Back to knee to elbow. Back to bird. Hold this for 2 more breaths. Come into our table. Dropping down to our child's pose. Two more breaths in our child's pose. Waving our bodies back to our table. Coming down to our downward facing dog. Feeling a stretch. Bringing our left leg up, then our right. Finding ourselves in our forward fold. Leaning completely over. Coming up to half forward fold. To Tadasana, palms by our side, palms forward. Inhale. Exhale. Palms above our head, standing salute. Exhale the standing prayer. Coming down to our chair. Holding our chair, 3 more breaths. Bringing our palms together at heart center in our chair pose. Slightly twisting to the right. Two more breaths. Coming back to center. Slightly twist to the opposite side. Coming back to center. Complete forward fold. Relaxing our bodies. Noticing how we are stretching our hamstrings behind our legs. Feeling the stretch here. We'll hover in our complete forward fold for 2 more breaths. Coming up to our half forward fold. Tummy's nice and tight. Back down to our complete forward fold. Back up to our half forward fold. To our Tadasana. Standing salute. Interlacing our fingers in our standing salute. Pointing up our pointer finger or index finger. Bringing our chest slightly forward. Slightly bending our back. Shoulders and arms are going towards the back. Feeling a slight back bend here in our standing salute. Arms are to the back. Chest is forward. Coming back up to center. Uninterlacing our fingers. Spreading our hands slightly apart. Standing crescent moon to the right. Two more breaths. Back to center. Standing crescent moon, opposite side. Back to center. Palms back together above our head. Exhale, standing prayer. Down to our chair. Holding our chair pose. Complete forward fold. Walking our hands up to the front of our mat. High plank. Feeling our body strengthen here in our high plank. Engaging our abs, tummy nice and tight. As we flow to our side plank. Arms up in the air. Feeling our body strengthen here in our high plank. 2 more breaths. Relaxing our arm. Coming back to our downward facing dog. Feeling our body stretch. Flow into an upward facing dog. Exhaling back to a downward facing dog. Back to a high plank. We are strengthening our arms right now. Side plank, opposite side. Turn it to the side for our side plank. 3 more breaths. Coming back to center. Downward facing dog. Flow into our upward facing dog. Coming down to our knees. Relaxing in our child's pose or our puppy's pose. Relax. We'll hold this pose for 4 to 5 breaths. Maybe we can take a nice deep inhale in here, using the breath to relax and soothe our body. One more breath. Waving our bodies to our table. Back to our downward facing dog. Working our arms here. 3-legged dog. Right legs in the air. Knee, right knee to right elbow. Back to 3-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow. Back to 3-legged dog. Back to downward facing dog. 3-legged dog, opposite side. Left legs in the air, nice and tall. Knee to elbow. Back to three-legged dog. Knee to elbow. Back to three-legged dog. Downward facing dog. Relaxing our body here, holding our bodies up in our downward facing dog. Feeling our arms strengthen here. Waving our bodies down to our knees. Coming back into our hero's pose. Relaxing in our hero's pose. Positioning our bodies to feel comfortable. Chest is up nice and tall. Back is straight. Shoulders are back. Hero's pose. Bringing our palms above our head. Salute. Exhale down to prayer. Coming up to our knees. We are in a kneeled position. Hands on our lower back. We're going to work on our camel pose here. Lifting our shoulders up towards our ears. Rolling our shoulders back. Shoulders up towards our ears. Rolling them back. Feeling our backs go deeper and deeper with each shoulder roll. Chest is coming forward. Shoulders are going back. We'll stop with the shoulder rolls and allow our body to fall back into our camel as much as we can comfortably. Coming back up to our kneel pose. And if we want to go deeper in our camel, we can allow our hands to touch our heels. If we choose to, otherwise we'll just work on regular camel. Coming out of our camel, palms above our head, salute, exhale, prayer, down to our hero's pose, falling down, coming downward to our puppy pose. Relaxing in our puppy pose. Slightly walking our hands forward on our yoga mat, feeling the stretch here in our puppy pose. Waving our bodies back to our table, coming back to our downward facing dog. Left legs in the air, nice and high. Bringing our left foot to our left hand. Slightly twisting our back foot, finding ourselves in our warrior two. To warrior one. Back to warrior two. To reverse warrior. To extended side angle. To prayer hands in our side angle. Twisting forward, finding ourselves in our runner's lunge. Straightening out that front leg, finding ourselves in our extended stretch. Slightly leaning over that leg, feeling the stretch. Back to our runner's lunge. Walking our feet to the edge of the mat. Walking our left foot to the edge of the mat. Bringing our left arm inside of our legs, positioning our bodies to be comfortable, dropping down to our lizard, feeling our hips open here in our lizard. 2 more breaths. Slightly pushing our bodies up in our lizard, but not all the way. Slightly twisting that back foot, opening up that right arm, nice and high, wing is open. Slightly looking up at that right hand. 2 more breaths. Closing the wing. Coming back to our runner's lunge. Exhaling back to our downward facing dog. Holding our downward facing dog. Maybe we can walk our dog, pedaling our feet. Three-legged dog, right side, right legs in the air, nice and high. Right foot to right hand. Runner's lunge, opposite side. Feeling our bodies relax here in our runner's lunge. Twisting that back foot. Warrior 2. To warrior 1. Or high lunge. Back to warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Extended side angle. Prayer hands. Framing that front foot. Straightening out that leg. Feeling that extended stretch here. Slightly leaning over that front leg. Bending our knee. Back to our runner's lunge. Walking our right foot to the edge of the mat. Bringing our right arm inside of our leg. Positioning our body to feel comfortable. Slightly twisting that back leg. Opening up that wing. Left arm goes up in the air. Two more breaths. Relax the arm. Coming back to our runner's lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog. Waving our bodies back down to our knees. Spinal wave to our knees. Down to our child's pose. Relaxing in our child's pose. Using the breath to relax our bodies here in our child's pose. Coming back up to table, back to our downward facing dog. Left legs in the air, nice and tall, three-legged dog. We're gonna flow into our pigeon pose, bringing our left foot forward. Pigeon pose to the front, straightening out that opposite leg to the back. Using our hands to push us up, pushing up our torso as tall as we can get it comfortably. Chin slightly up, inhale. Exhale. Feeling our bodies relaxing here in our pigeon as we slightly look over our left shoulder, feeling a spinal twist in our pigeon pose. Coming back to center, dropping down to our sleeping pigeon. Going forward, we'll relax here for 3 breaths. One more breath. Slowly pushing our bodies up from our sleeping pigeon. Feeling our bodies get nice and tall as much as we can. Maybe we can bring our right foot towards our right hand in our king pigeon or our mermaid pose, whatever feels good for you. We'll hold this for 3 breaths. Exhale, relaxing the foot. Bringing our arm back forward, untucking that back foot, downward facing dog.
Feeling our dog get nice and long here. Right leg in the air, three-legged dog. Right side. Bringing that right foot up, pigeon pose, right side. Relaxing in our pigeon, using our arms to push our torso up. Slightly looking over our right shoulder, feeling that spinal twist. Coming back to forward, lowering down to our sleeping pigeon. We'll hold this for 3 breaths. Slightly awakening our pigeon from our sleep pose, pushing our bodies up, nice and easy. Untucking that toe, downward facing dog. Coming up to our high plank, lowering down to chaturanga, hovering over our yoga mat, relaxing down to cobra. Holding this cobra, feeling a slight back bend. Upward facing dog. To downward facing dog. Left foot to left hand. Warrior 2. Warrior 1. Warrior 2. Warrior 1. Framing that front leg. Stretching out that leg, feeling the stretch. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot to right hand. Warrior 2. Warrior 1 or high lunge. Back to Warrior 2. Back to Warrior 1. Framing that front leg. Straightening that front leg, feeling the extended stretch. Leaning forward. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Waving our bodies to our table, crossing our feet, coming into a seated position. Maybe in an easy seat. Slightly looking over the right shoulder, seated twist, right side. Coming back to center. Seated twist, left side. Coming back to center, straightening our legs, finding us in our staff pose. Leaning forward, seated forward fold. Feeling a stretch here in our seated forward fold or seated half forward fold. Right now I am in my half forward fold. This is the complete. Whatever feels best for you. 2 more breaths. Exhale back up to staff. Positioning our bodies on the mat to get into our boat pose. Feeling our abdominal muscles here working in our boat pose. We'll hold this for 3 more breaths. Keeping our legs in the air, bringing our feet towards our hands, holding our feet in our hands. Straightening out that left foot like a V to the side. So left foot is like a V. We are doing a boat pose variation. Bringing that left leg back in. Straightening out the right leg to the side like a V. Boat pose variation. Bringing that leg back in. Extending that left leg back out to the side like a V. Bringing that right leg out to the side like a V. Engaging our abs nice and tight. Feeling our body's balance here. Relaxing our body here in this boat pose variation. Maybe spreading our legs slightly apart more and more to feel the stretch more in our hips. 2 more breaths. Abdominal muscles are nice and tight. Keeping our legs in the air, bringing our feet back in. Placing our feet together, the bottom of our feet are now together. Squeezing our feet in our hand. Feeling ourselves giving us a little foot massage here as we lower our feet down to our diamond pose. Back is up nice and straight in our diamond. Kind of doing like a cow pose in our diamond. Chest is coming forward, back is slightly bent. Here, yes. Then we can go back like a cat. Spinal cords going to the opposite direction. Cat pose. Coming back up to our cow pose in our butterfly. Feeling our spinal cords nice and stretched here. Lengthening here. Also, we can feel our hips opening even more. Slightly leaning forward into a complete forward fold as much as we can here in our butterfly. Feeling our hips open even more. Relaxing down as much as we comfortably can. Coming back up, tummy's nice and tight. Using our hands to bring our legs in. Coming down, relaxing on our backs into a Savasana. But we're going to do knees to chest here. Savasana pose, knee to chest. Placing our feet flat on the floor. Using our feet to push our buttocks up in the air. We are going into a bridge pose here. Feeling our bodies relax here in our bridge pose. Feeling our glutes get nice and tight here in our bridge. We just worked our abs. Now we're going to work our glutes. Gluteus maximus here. Buns of steel. Maybe we can bring our hands inward underneath our bodies. Interlacing our fingers. Walking our shoulder blades towards our spinal cord. Feeling our chest and our buttocks come higher in the air. Glutes are getting even tighter here. We are working on lifting our gluteus maximus and rounding our butts here. Feeling the bridge. Maybe we can do a couple of rotations here. Slightly coming down and coming back up, tightening our glutes. Slightly coming down and coming back up and tightening our glutes. Feeling the buns of steel working here. We'll hold this for 2 more breaths. Exhaling down, untucking your shoulders, bringing your knees back to your chest. Inhale. Exhale. Allowing your legs to fall towards the left. Recline spinal twist, left side. Slightly looking over our right shoulder. Feeling our bodies relax. Coming back to center. Knees to chest. Allowing our legs to fall to the right. Right arms out to the side like a T. Coming back to center. Bringing our legs straight up in the air. Legs on the wall, invisible wall pose. Legs straight up in the air. Engaging our abs. Tummy is nice and tight. Reclines. We're going to do a reclined wide-legged split. Using our hands to softly bring our legs apart. Working on opening up our hips even more. Feeling our bodies stretching here in our reclined spinal twist. In our reclined wide-legged stretch here. 2 more breaths. Feeling the stretch. Bringing our hands to the outside of our legs. Bringing our legs back inward. Bringing our knees back to our chest. Hugging them in. Legs back up on the wall. We're going to bring our legs towards our face, slightly coming up in a little tummy crunch here, feeling the stretch here. Legs back up in the air, relaxing our bodies back down. Bringing our knees back to our chest. Straightening out our legs, finding ourselves in our Savasana. Bringing our arms above our heads, palms together. Feet are together side by side, pointing our feet towards the opposite direction. We are doing a dorsiflex here with our feet, pointing our toes to the opposite direction. Hands are above our head, feeling the full body stretch here. We'll hold this for 2 more breaths. Relaxing our bodies, bringing our arms back inward. Placing our feet side by side, our heels are touching. Allowing our feet to fall to the side, completely relaxing our feet. Relaxing our bodies on our yoga mat. Our shoulders, our head is feeling nice and heavy as it relaxes downward on our yoga mat. Feeling our bodies relax and ease, resting from our yoga flow. Inhale. Exhale. Noticing how the breath relaxes and soothes our mind and body even more. Gazing our eyes downward or closing our eyes if they weren't already closed. Relaxing here in our Savasana and our silence and peace for the next 60 to 90 seconds. Slightly turning on our side, finding ourselves in a fetal pose, a fetal position. Resting here for 30 to 60 seconds here. Slightly wiggling our toes, doing circular rotations with our ankles, slightly moving our hips, allowing the movements to awaken our bodies, maybe opening our eyes if they were closed. Pushing our bodies up into our seated position. Any seated position of choice. May you find that seat. Maybe do a couple shoulder rolls. Loosening up your body from laying on your side in your fetal pose. Or we can do cow face arms. Whatever feels best for you. Two more breaths. Relaxing out of the pose.
palms above our heads, seated salute. Exhale, seated prayer. Gazing downward. I would like to thank you for allowing me to guide you here today. It truly was a pleasure. The light in me sees, appreciates, and respects the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a great evening. And I want to thank you so much for meeting me here on the mat. Namaste, peace and blessings, and I will see you on the mat next time. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste. Peace and blessings be to you.